Hello everybody! Today we're going to learn how to make a simple round arrangement. For this arrangement you need 4 stems of solidago, 3 or 4 stems of leatherleaf, 2 baby's breath, and 9 carnations. You could also use limonium in place of the baby's breath or statice in place of the solidago. You need 1/3 of a brick of floral foam, and you're going to put it in preservative water and let it soak while we're prepping our flowers. We're going to take the bottom few leaflets and any foliage off the stems of the solidago. Save any of the flowering pieces for later. For our leather leaf, you're going to cut your bat wings off the bottom of the stem. You can usually get about 3 for each stem, then leave the top part intact. Cut small pieces of baby's breath. Then you're going to trim your carnations. So you're going to cut them about 1/3 of the way down, and then you're going to remove any of the leaves. So peel them off and then use your floral knife to peel off any of the extra little pieces of foliage that are hanging around. Don't forget to pet your carnations open. We're going to use a pretty simple number 73 design bowl, and it has the prongs in the bottom to hold the foam. We're going to take our foam out of the preservative solution and then secure it with 2 pieces of anchor tape going in 2 parallel lines across the top. Now it's time to get arranging. We're going to start with our carnations, and the first carnation we're going to trim down slightly, and this first one, the height of the carnation is going to determine the height for the entire arrangement. So this is a round arrangement, so we want everything to be in the foam at about the same depth as the first carnation. So the first one's going to go in the very top center, and then we're going to take 4 more and put around the outside going north, south, east, and west. Now we're going to add our other carnations. So you can see, if you look at the side, the ones we've added kind of make a triangle. So we're going to trim a carnation and stick right in the center of that triangle. Then we're going to turn the arrangement, find the next triangle, and stick the carnation right in the center of that triangle. Now it's time to green. So we're going to take the ends of our leather leaf, and if there's any leaves that are going to go down in the foam, we want to remove those and just start putting them around. And I like to tuck them in behind our carnations. Use our bat wings to start filling in the center. Remember, the purpose of adding this greenery is to hide our mechanics, so we don't want to see any foam, any tape. We really don't even want to see the design bowl when we're done. Use your leather leaf to go around and fill in any spaces. Make sure you surround each carnation with greenery. Don't forget to look at the bottom and go around parallel to the design bowl. We don't want this to look like a shelf, so make sure you go around. You might have some greenery left over, and we're going to save that for at the end when we do our final check and make sure that everything is covered. Now it's time to add our filler flower. So you can see now our carnations have made a diamond shape. We're going to stick our filler flower right in the center of that diamond. I'm using solidago because that's what I had on hand, but statice is really pretty in this arrangement as well too. Make sure you trim it down, and we don't want it sticking out too tall. Remember, the main flower is the carnation, and we want the focal point to be on the carnations, not the filler. So trim off any excess foliage and stick down in there. Remember, we don't want any of that foliage in the foam or in the water because that builds bacteria. Try to be a little bit more observant than I was here, and try not to stick it in the foam too many times, because then that makes big holes in your foam and it's hard for things to stay up where you want it. So try to get a good idea of how tall you want to make it before you stick it in the foam, because the more you take things out of the foam and put back in, the harder it's going to be to put stuff in the foam. You can use any of the extra pieces that you pulled off your Solidago earlier to kind of go around the bottom and fill in to make sure you get some of that pretty color on the bottom side of your carnations. Then you can also take your pieces of baby's breath, you can make them smaller and start filling in any empty areas. Again, adding the second type of filler flower just gives it a little bit more depth and texture and really starts to make it look like a professional arrangement. Go back through and fill in any holes with extra leather leaf and other filler flowers. Don't forget also to look around the bottom. Again, we don't want it to look like a bowl with greenery on the bottom, like a shelf, and then flowers sitting on top. We want it to be like a dome. Whenever you clean up, you want to take any usable pieces and put them into the flower hospital. Little pieces of green like that you don't want, but the bigger pieces of leather leaf you can keep. Too often I see students throwing away really good usable pieces of flowers, so keep them in the hospital for someone else to use. Make sure you spray your arrangement with Crowning Glory when you're done. Add a cardette and put an index card with your name on it, and you are all set to go. Thanks for watching.